What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before I get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors this week, like I say every week, every rumor that I'm about to read is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until the rumor or rumors are proven fact, confirmed by the company or the person the rumor is about, they remain what they are, rumors. So, with that, let's get into everything that is a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Replying to a reader question about Will Ospreay only needing 6 months to get cleared after what Ospreay said was double infusion surgery on his neck in September, PW Insider's Mike Johnson wrote, "I don't believe Ospreay had neck fusion surgery, which typically takes a year to recover from." So, I'm gonna throw this to all of you and ask you the question: do you confidently believe that Will Ospreay had double infusion surgery on his neck if it took him half the time that it usually takes for a neck fusion surgery to recover from, which typically takes a year? The last time we saw Will Ospreay before he came back was, if I'm right, and my memory is can be a little spotty at times, but was at All In. And All In is coming up in August, I believe. So somewhere around July, August would have been a year since Will Ospreay came back. So, yeah, I guess you could say in half the time that it would typically take for someone to have neck surgery. I'll ask again, do you confidently believe that Will Ospreay had neck infusion surgery? I am choosing to believe Ospreay and that he just worked a little bit harder than a typical person who has neck infusion surgery works to rehab and get back as soon as possible. I think to be that motivated to get back in the ring and to get back to the thing that you love to do, that brings motivation. So I believe that he had this neck infusion surgery and that he was just overly motivated to rehab and get his neck back to full strength to get cleared and get back to doing what he loves to do. But let me know in the comments what you think, if you believe Will Ospreay actually had neck infusion surgery to be back in half the time that a typical person usually takes to recover from neck infusion surgery. Dave Meltzer said that everyone is telling him that whoever is on the phone with Randy Orton is not The Rock, but of course, if it is, The Rock's not gonna let anyone know. I think who we expected to be on the other line on the phone, and instead of who we got, I can understand can be disappointing to a lot of people. This past Friday on SmackDown, it was revealed that it was Pat McAfee on the phone with Randy Orton this whole time, and I think we can understand. I think we could see it if it's The Rock. We could even see it if it's like a Kevin Nash, someone of a heel quality that would be on the other line with Randy Orton, that has some kind of history with Randy Orton to help him see. I mean, I think there were quite a few people who, and including myself, who thought it was going to be Arn Anderson. And we understand the history between Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson, and how Arn Anderson was his, you would say, manager in AEW, and how you bring that into WWE and the history, and how Arn Anderson is not liking what he's seen from Randy Orton and gives his time and attention to Randy Orton to help him see the viciousness that is Randy Orton, the Viper, the legend killer. but instead it was Pat McAfee. So I can understand the disappointment. But what Pat McAfee said in his promo this past Friday on SmackDown was touching on a lot of feelings that a lot of people have actually said on social media, be it through a video post or just typing or just texting out how they are feeling about their frustrations or about this certain error in WWE right now. So a lot of people were, that promo was touching on a lot of feelings on that, and that was a good promo. But again, understanding the disappointment and I guess even frustration that it was Pat McAfee instead of someone else, in professional wrestling and in sports entertainment, whether it's AEW, WWE, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, whatever promotion you're watching or a fan of, not everyone's going to be satisfied. Not everyone's going to be happy. And we do our best to just move along with it as we can. But that is one of the main reasons why we have social media, so we can get on there and vent our frustrations. Kyle Fletcher suffered an ankle injury in his match on Collision last Saturday. Per Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said Fletcher and longtime tag partner Mark Davis had a tandem overhead suplex spot while their positioning was off, causing Davis to land on Fletcher's leg. After limping to the back without help, Fletcher was seen in a walking boot later in the evening and will likely get further tests. Hopefully it doesn't lead to Fletcher having to drop his championship, TNT championship. Hopefully it doesn't lead to him having to take serious time off. It doesn't lead to surgery, because he is on a bit of a run, and for an injury like this to cut him off, to stop him in the middle of that, it's not uncommon. It's an occupational hazard that happens in professional wrestling. You can be that wrestler and you're on the hottest streak, the hottest run right now of your career, and then an injury happens and it just kills it mid-center when you were so close to either getting that championship or you're just in the middle of a hell of a championship run. It happens, it sucks, but all I can do is wish Kyle Fletcher the best and hope that he's not out for too long and he's able to keep his TNT championship. As TNT champ, Fletcher is obviously a key player for AEW, Meltzer said. They'll have to probably redo a lot of plans if Fletcher needs to miss time with the injury, as he was pretty heavy in a lot of short and long-term plans with long-term plans there with the championship and all of that. This just basically adds to what I already said. Hopefully it doesn't lead to having all this stuff that he's in the middle of doing canceled and they have to redo it and change it. Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live that WWE is no longer planning to do El Grande Americano versus original El Grande Americano at WrestleMania 42, instead saving it for AAA. I think about like a week or two ago, I think the idea of an El Grande Americano versus original El Grande Americano at WrestleMania seemed more unlikely not to happen based on all the matches that have been confirmed so far and how all these matches look and the amount of time a lot of these matches are going to get. Pardon me with my nose. So this particular match, El Grande Americano versus original El Grande Americano, they have been continuing this feud in AAA, on AAA every Saturday. So this kind of match, it does work and makes sense for it to be at AAA, whether they do a PLE-like event for AAA for this type of match. Not sure, but it works. You got El Grande Americano, who's really the babyface in AAA, and original El Grande Americano, who's really become the heel in AAA. So this kind of match, I like this match. I like the idea of this match. I feel good about this match. This match is, ever since Chad Gable came back, this is a match that that needs to happen. Kind of just squash it all together, possibly. Like maybe like whoever loses has to take their mask off, kind of thing. I don't know, but yes, for this match to happen in AAA, and whenever it happens, I will be enjoying it. It'll be very entertaining to watch. Self-Made Pro claims WWE has finally figured out how they are going to launch Royce Key's career on the main roster. We should hopefully we should start seeing Royce Keys on either Raw or SmackDown effectively right the day after WrestleMania, like whether it's a Raw after Mania or a SmackDown after Mania. Excuse me. We need to be seeing him ASAP because we haven't seen him since the Royal Rumble, since his interview on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and even a quick moment on main event. Pardon me, on main event. So outside of those things, to see him on the main roster, either on Raw or SmackDown, it's been a minute. We've been waiting, and it's got to happen either the Raw after Mania or the SmackDown after Mania. I think there's going to be quite a few debuts from those who called up from NXT, and adding Royce Keys to that list of those who will debut after WrestleMania. So I feel that once we get past WrestleMania, whether it's for both we get to both Monday and then Friday, it's when we start a brand new season in WWE. And hopefully that's when we start seeing all of that. So hopefully either Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania, we see Royce Keys. According to WrestleVotes, there was no plans for John Cena to host WrestleMania 42 when he retired from WWE in December. WWE came up with the idea in February and Cena agreed to it. He also signed a long-term deal with WWE that doesn't involve wrestling matches. This is probably just part of that thing that he signed, but also, but also I understand it that WWE is throwing everything they can to try to boost up the ticket sales. And I have been saying it for so long, and I'll continue to say it. You can throw everything at it, but it's not going to change the fact that the ticket prices that TKO has put on WWE for WrestleMania is ridiculous. They are too high. They need to be lowered down. I don't know how many times I can say it. And also adding to that the things that people like to do during that weekend, during that time when WrestleMania is in that city, the watch parties and all that, and how that has been stopped by TKO with WWE. It's not cool. It takes, there's the frustration in it. I've said it so many times. I'm just gonna stick to it. That having John Cena there, yeah, that'll be cool. I didn't think we would see John Cena this soon. I thought we would miss him a couple. I thought he would miss a few WrestleManias before we'd see him again. I figured we would see him next year at WrestleMania if they decided next year to add him into the Hall of Fame. But here we are. So to have him as a host and have him there at WrestleMania, it's cool. It's cool he's going to be there. He's going to be a host, all that. And that's cool. I had no problems with that. I'm not complaining about that at all. It's just, I understand why WWE, why TKO is doing that. And that is because of, they're trying to add that boost to their ticket sales because their ticket prices are so high and they haven't really sold as many tickets. I'm sure they sold quite number of tickets, but they haven't reached that level of selling out like they did the year before and the year before that. The ticket prices are too freaking high, and it's people who want to go to WrestleMania really have to question if it's worth going to WrestleMania when you're looking at high prices for your Medicare. I mean, when you're looking at high prices for your healthcare, for groceries, for gas, for rent, if you own a house, the mortgage, the car payments, and then if you have kids, how much it costs now to afford everything for your own children. So there's a lot of high costs under this certain administration, who will not be named, but y'all know who I'm talking about, which is making it really difficult for people, and especially for those who are wrestling fans, to have to choose whether or not it's worth it to go to WrestleMania, especially when you add on to the fact how much airfare costs, how much hotel will cost, and then how much it will to do all the things before WrestleMania and even after WrestleMania for both nights. So there's a lot of costs that go into it, and a lot of having to really think whether or not it's worth it, if it's worth it to even go or just stay home and watch it at home. So I don't think a lot of people in the higher ups who run TKO and possibly even who run WWE fully understand what people are really going through as far as high costs of everything. Because if they did, they would be a little bit more reasonable with their ticket prices. And it's why so many people in AEW, like a Kenny Omega, would say what they say about the ticket prices and how it's more affordable to go to an AEW show than it is to a WWE show. Anyway, Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez claims that Cena was never supposed to be back this early after the end of his WWE Farewell Tour. WWE's request to Cena to host WrestleMania was a panic move due to struggle-ish ticket sales. I refer back to what I just said before. Don't need to repeat it. Votes says WWE is thinking about adding established names from SmackDown and AAA to Penta's Intercontinental title ladder match at WrestleMania 42. The few names that we do know of, like Rusev, like Javon Evans, like Lucha Dragon, all of those names those are just some of the names that we know now. But I can see how they just give who are in the ladder match for now. But I feel like when the ladder match happens, I feel like they're gonna save the surprises for each entrance that comes out from AAA and from possibly SmackDown as well, and possibly from Raw, to be in this ladder match, because I think this will be quite a big ladder match that will get quite a few people onto the card for WrestleMania. So I'm even though it doesn't seem like it in my voice and in my I am excited for this match. This will be a big challenge for Penta, and no matter how the match turns out, I'm really hoping Penta comes out on the other side of this, retaining his Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Considering this is also his first WrestleMania, I hope it's a successful win for him at WrestleMania. The outlet also mentioned that Gunther versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42 was not finalized until late last week, after WWE considered multiple opponents and creative directions for each star. Paul Heyman is expected to be involved in their story going forward. It was announced on SmackDown this past Friday that we will hear from Gunther and Paul Heyman as well. So whatever Paul Heyman has to say, I believe it will have something to do with the fact that since Brock Lesnar is currently busy with Oba Femi, there is no Braun Breaker. He's still working to get cleared. There is no Bronson Reed because he is out until about July or September. And the rest of the division, Logan Paul and Austin Theory which are now new tag team champions, will be currently busy at WrestleMania as well. And I will bring that up in a second. So I feel that Paul Heyman, looking at the roster and who he believes can get the job done, who does not have an opponent at WrestleMania, and Paul Heyman looks towards Gunther. And there you go. I think he'll say something within that manner of what Gunther can do to Seth Rollins. So I'm assuming it's something within that line of what he will say. I'm guessing. In addition to the 12 matches that are official for WrestleMania, people in WWE confirmed to The Observer that the Vision and IShowSpeed versus the Usos and LA Knight is also scheduled for the event. The 14th match is penciled in as Asuka versus Io Sky right now. Okay, the triple threat match I had last week on Raw, how that all ended and how the Vision won. I kind of saw it going that way. IShowSpeed kind of feeling trapped and not being able to get the Usos, and especially LA Knight. And LA Knight showed up to IShowSpeed, where IShowSpeed was streaming, and took care of IShowSpeed real quick, threw him through the camera. So all of this is just really leading to what will probably be confirmed this Monday on Raw as a 6-man tag at WrestleMania. So I feel that's where it's going to go. I really felt that. And as far as Asuka versus Io Sky, I really feel that this match has been like a slow build ever since everything's been kind of going down with Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. And now Kairi Sane kind of feeling conflicted, especially how Asuka's been yelling at her and pushing Kairi Sane around. Kairi Sane is kind of feeling like this person in the middle between of Io Sky and Asuka. And this match, we're finally going to get this match to go down at WrestleMania 42. Io Sky versus Asuka. Hopefully this also gets confirmed this Monday on Raw. I'm looking forward to this match and how Kairi Sane will react and how she will be while this match is happening at WrestleMania 42 once it gets confirmed. The confliction she has between two people she really cares about in Kairi Sane, in Io Sky and Asuka, and how all of this will resolve itself at the end of WrestleMania 42 for Asuka and Io Sky and Kairi Sane. So I'm excited for that. Now, last week I brought up a little bit of a lawsuit that's going down with WWE, with ESPN, how they are inserting themselves into it, it seems like. And let me really explain everything about this lawsuit, because there's still time before WWE has to answer it. So let me put it out. So we start with the claim. So plaintiffs claim that despite advertisements suggesting no extra costs, users had to pay for a new higher priced ESPN Unlimited tier, approximately $29.99, to watch events like WrestlePalooza in September of 2025. WrestlePalooza really wasn't the best event to introduce WWE into ESPN, but it was what it was. The parties. So the suit filed in Connecticut federal court, originally targeted only WWE, likely to avoid arbitration clauses found in Disney ESPN agreements. ESPN intervention. So in late March 2026, last month, ESPN intervened to move the case to arbitration, stating subscribers agreed to waive class action rights. Pardon me with my nose. Impact. Over 2 million subscribers. every time I talk, the vibration of it. Pardon me. Okay, so Impact. Over 2 million subscribers are potentially affected with the lawsuit alleging over $5 million in dispute. Status. So WWE has until April of 2026, April 13th, 2026, to formally respond to ESPN's intervention move. And that's where, and that's how the whole WWE versus ESPN came about, was from this lawsuit. So, as I stated last week, that WWE and ESPN is just not really working together. It's not really a good mix. As I've seen, it hasn't even really been a year yet. And it would have been better if it was on, if WWE went to Netflix and just did what they're doing internationally, but they didn't. I get it. ESPN offered WWE an extra truck load of money than what Netflix was offering. So I get that. But as far as this lawsuit and where we go from here, after once we get either on the 13th of this month or past it, we probably should know we should definitely know something before WrestleMania 42. And once we know what is going on further, I will let you know, whether on Rumor of the Day or right here on Wrestling with Rumors. But for now, I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for watching. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up when all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors, which drops every Sunday, and Rumor of the Day, which is a Monday through Saturday short. And go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment, keep the conversation going, whatever you want to talk about as far as when it comes to what's going on in professional wrestling. And thank you once again for watching. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. I hope everyone has a good week. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace, y'all.